One of the hottest issues this summer is the way ICE and the Department of Homeland Security are going about deporting people who came to the country illegally.
Our senior political reporter Bob Buckley talked to North Carolina U.S. Senator Ted Budd about that and about the race to replace his Republican colleague Thom Tillis, who recently announced he is not going to run for re-election next year as part of that.
Who do you want to see replace Senator Tillis on the Republican ballot in the Senate race next year?
You know, ultimately, this is up to the voters of North Carolina. There's a very deep bench on the Republican side. Of course, you've got to look at Laura Trump, who was born in the Wilmington-Wrightsville Beach area, has deep roots in North Carolina.
Well, isn't the truth that President Trump is going to select whoever he picks who's going to represent the party, don't you think?
I mean, you look at North Carolina, President Trump has won it 3 times. So you definitely want somebody that understands the dynamics of President Trump, the leadership that he's done for North Carolina, the constituencies that we have in North Carolina.
Speaking of people who've won the state, Democrats are doing everything they can to drag former Governor Roy Cooper into the Senate race. Do you see Republicans defeating him if he runs?
Look, I think he was not a great commander-in-chief for North Carolina. He delayed on Western North Carolina. He equivocated. He wasn't clear. And I think North Carolinians are glad that chapter's behind them. I think we're going to have a strong Republican, but we have to have a good candidate who understands North Carolinians and understands what they believe when they go to the polls. So I think that's going to happen, but we've got to put the work in. You can't be lazy in North Carolina.
I want to ask if immigration enforcement has looked like you thought it would. There are some critics who say it appears overly authoritarian and wonder if it may be, even if inadvertently, detaining some of the dreamers who were brought here as young kids by their parents and who a lot of Americans would like to see have a path to citizenship. Do you like the way the immigration authority is being enforced?
Well, look, I think you have to look at what the larger media is saying and what actually is happening on the ground. You have 1 million people that have self-deported that said, you know what, they're actually taking the law seriously. And they've decided to go home. They've gone on the CBP One app and indicated that they'd like to go ahead and go back to their country of origin. We want people here. Remember, we let 1 million people a year come here legally. And I think we need to continue doing that. So this is a country that is welcome to immigrants, but we just think people should follow the law. And that's what people overwhelmingly voted for back last November when they elected Donald Trump to the president for a second time. So I'm very excited what the president is doing. He's just taking the existing law very seriously.
Okay, and you don't have a problem with the way ICE is going about their business, that they don't appear to be heavy-handed?
I think they're doing what they can, but you have some extreme leftist radical protesters that are actually harming federal officers. So I think that's the problem. I don't think it's with the federal officers. I don't think it's with Customs and Border Patrol. I think it's the radical anti-law, anti-American protesters that are actually physically harming our officers. And I think they should go to jail.
Budd also credits the Trump administration with getting the other NATO nations to pay a full share of the organization's defense. You can look for Bob's full interview with Senator Budd on a future episode of Swing State, streaming on the MyFox 8 Plus app Monday nights at 8:30.